Hey, it's the podcast guy.
Sutton United Talk Time on podcast. It's the Sutton Podcast.
And there it is! Sutton United at the GM Vauxhall Conference have put out First Division Coventry City, winners of the FA Cup themselves less than 2 years ago. And what a moment to enjoy for the fans of this Surrey side. They've had their moments before, but never one like this. But the whistle goes down. Delight for Sutton United. Sutton United from the National League are through to the last 16 of the FA Cup. No longer English football's perennial non-league club. A 123-year crescendo reaches a new peak for Sutton United, who are promoted to the Football League for the first time.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Sutton United Talk Time on podcast. It's the Sutton Podcast in association with Lucky Star Gin. I'm your host Mike, and today we're having another little peek behind the amber curtain. I'm going to introduce him as a friend of the show because it might be the first one that goes out, but it's the third time we've done this. So, hello Jack, how are you?
I'm great, how are you?
Very good, thank you. So in this episode, we're going to be covering Jack's background, his story so far, and his hopes for his impact at Sutton United. Don't forget, we love hearing from you. Keep the conversations going. Stay connected with us on social media at Sutton Podcast. They've changed the algorithms on Twitter, so it's all about the retweets and the comments, not just the likes now. So please give that a try. Same for the official account, I'm sure. And thanks to everyone who does it all the time. I do recognise you and I do see it, and I really do appreciate it. Jack, once again, thanks for joining us. Thanks for the perseverance as well.
That's all right.
Anyone who hasn't had a chance to meet you yet, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and a bit about your background before joining Sutton United?
Yeah, so obviously you can hear from the accent, I'm from Northern Ireland. So yeah, I grew up there, but was at uni at Oxford Brookes, so I did 4 years there. I did undergrad and masters, and then I have a fair bit of experience now. Did a bit of work for Diageo, who own Guinness, Captain Morgan's, Smirnoff, Tanqueray, a number of different other ones, but they'd be the main ones. And I did a bit of work for Cricket Ireland as well. For the NCU in a fairly similar role, and same for Lisbon Distillery back at home in a fairly similar role, and then worked for Forest Green Rovers in the same division last year, and then now I'm here. There's other stuff apart from that, bit of events work, doing major events and stuff, but that would be the main things.
That's your bread and butter. Yeah, we did speak about some of the events, things I've heard of. There was F1, there was all sorts of things. But it was distillery that I went, oh, that's the one I know. I know that one.
Yeah, love distillery. Those guys are great who are running distillery. So yeah, distillery is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. So what kind of drew you? I mean, you're at Forest Green. And to the tail end of last season, I think it was just at the end of the season you joined us, was it? Or yeah.
So I think the season it was just about to finish whenever I was signing my contract. So I was took a bit of a break between jobs. I was watching the MK Dons match in Portugal and had them put up Colchester on the TV instead of any of the other games.
Right, so, fair enough.
A couple of the locals were a little bit annoyed at me screaming at the TV at Colchester in Portugal. But yeah, that was the gap. And then 1st of May, I started officially.
Lovely. So what drew you to the role at Sutton United? Because obviously you've had different roles, different places. I would imagine you've got a little bit of a pick of what you wanted to do. What made Sutton special?
I think the potential behind it. I think I said to you the other day, it was at the wire a little bit. I was talking to another club or a couple of divisions higher, but I think I would much rather build something and try and improve something and develop something than just keep something going the way that it is. I find that far more fun, not even challenging, just genuinely fun. So Yeah, that was part of it, talking to the owners and stuff. Jeez, it feels like a signing video. It feels like, yeah, I was talking to the gaffer. The gaffer had such great ideas. It kind of is that type of thing. Weirdly, I'd talk to the owners, great ideas, lots of stuff in the future, lots of different ways that we could branch out, lots of different things that we're going to do, and kind of give me free rein to a certain extent as well, where it's very much my ideas. I'm in charge of all of this stuff, and I can kind of go for it in my own image. So yeah, that drew me to it. I think the potential is massive, so big. I think it's bigger than people even realize.
So I think we said the other day these questions, some of them were a bit like a job interview. You've got the job, you're in post, so don't worry.
I was in work today.
So what do the experiences bring to the role? I know you kind of hinted at it a second ago. You're quite comfortable going, I'm just gonna push this out, see what happens, and try new things. So what kind of experiences do you think it will help you in your role?
I think because it's so many different varied things that I've done, like it's always been along the same lines with marketing, media, communications, and usually in other places there's been commercial and partnerships mixed with that, but it has been incredibly marketing focused. But I think each different one has taught me different things. Like obviously working with Diageo, you can see from the bottom down how big of a company that is. Like doing work with Guinness, with Smirnoff and stuff like that is the elite level of an alcoholic beverages company. It's like I was about to say Manchester United, but it's not 2012 anymore. It's like the Manchester City of alcohol, basically. The same with other places. At the NCU, it was completely different because as much as I love cricket, football was always very much my thing, and if anything, probably held me back slightly in the other job because all I was thinking about and talking about was football. But again, learning how, and not even just learning, running T20 stuff, especially in the cricket sphere, like it shows you that there is a different way to fan engagement and something that hasn't really been done at football. They're trying to push it, but it hasn't been to the extent that we could do it to make it more of an experience. Like a lot of people don't go to the cricket to watch the cricket. They go there for the day out, for the experience, for something a bit different. And I kind of brought that from there. Distillery, it's just grassroots, community, good stuff. And distillery's brilliant. And the lads who are there, a bit like what Sutton was, it was all volunteers. It's not really anybody full time. It's, yeah, a lot of people just working really, really hard for something they believe in. And I'm very behind that. And that's something that it shares with Sutton, or it has with Sutton in the past. And major events, like some of the things that I've worked at are incredible and next level, and some of the biggest events in the world. So that obviously is going to put me in good stead for literally everything, like the whole way through, like how disciplined, like how high you kind of have to set your bar on a match day is kind of what I'm thinking of. Like working at Royal Ascot and some of the chefs that they have in and stuff like that, and all the way through seeing just how high the bar and the expectation is. I've brought that to everything since. And then Forest Green obviously is a little bit of a different beast altogether. It's a football club, but it's very sustainability first. So green before football. And some people say that's wrong, some people say that's right. Either way, it's still teaching me things that there is more to life than football, as much as I don't really think that all the time. There is more to life than football, and there is ways that you can draw people in that isn't just about football. It is about issues surrounding the world. It is about, like I said, fan engagement, match day experience, like so many other different things. So I was very lucky at Forest Green for a while there. Great CEO who'd worked in rugby in New Zealand, for years and major events and kind of was on the same wavelength. And yeah, it was just great to see how a sports team can do something so differently, but also be effective. I mean, as much as you could say last year Forest Green weren't effective, realistically, in their goal of being this greenest football club in the world and all of the other things that they're shouting about, they are, and they're far, far ahead of it. We would have had Bristol City come in and other major sporting things like wanting to know how we did certain things and how we focused on certain things. So yeah, all of these things is full circle, and it kind of brings me to what I want to bring here at Sutton and what I want to do and where I want to bring it. And there's a lot of different experiences that I just think are going to work really, really well with this role.
Excellent. That brilliantly leads us on to, can you outline what the role is and your kind of main areas of responsibility? There's a few kind of things you've touched on there, but for people who are kind of going, it's just someone else who's at the club, we don't know what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
What is it you're doing?
So I think the main job title is marketing director, but I'm kind of focused across marketing, communications, media, everything across those lines. Realistically, the one thing that you could say is the crux of my job is making sure that the brand image gets bigger and that we get seen as much as possible. That's really what my focus is getting Sutton United in front of as many people's eyes as possible. And that's not just our fans, but other fans across the world, not even just in the UK. So yeah, that's kind of what my focus is. It is pushing this brand as far as it can possibly go without the football. The football will help, but probably without the football, trying to see how far we can bring it. And while bringing in these things of marketing, of the social media, of press releases with the communications, those three other sites. So I would say that's kind of, yeah, the crux of it.
Perfect. And have you set yourself, not necessarily been set for you, but have you set yourself any kind of immediate goals, quick wins for the current season or the next sort of 6 months or so?
I think the first thing that we had to do was professionalize certain things, because it's throughout the club. Like, you would have heard Steve say that probably back in January, February, and you'll talk to Matthew, he'll probably say the same thing. And even if, I think you've had Gary Otto on at some point, he probably would agree with that as well. It's bringing it to the next level. Even if we have dropped a level down, it is bringing it to the next level. And even after that, bringing it to the level after that and the level after that. Like, one of the things whenever we were at Forest Green was being championship ready. And that didn't really mean on the pitch, like, as much as we were getting in players who supposedly had played in the championship at a higher level, whatever else. It was more behind the scenes. We are working and striving to be a championship club before we even make it to the championship, to make it an easier road, that type of thing. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. It is professionalizing things and developing it. So we're not just at, like, we're not at a National League level. I don't want to be working at the level of a National League club or a normal National League club. So we're at, like, I don't even want to be working at a League Two level, I'm not going to lie. I want to be still striving for this championship ready idea. And I think the people that we've brought in, like Matthew, like other guys in my area, like other guys in the background, like the different coaches, like we had John Meany come in the other day, like, these are people that will work their hardest and will strive to make this project the best we possibly can. And in my head, that means championship ready. And I think that's the direction that we're going. So yeah, professionalizing it was one of the first things. As many people will have seen, the social media and upgrading it was one of the other things. I think the people who were running it previously did a great job, because they're volunteers. Like, realistically, they're getting home from work and they're spending an hour or two on this, and that's kind of what they can do. And for that, they were doing an amazing job and they were working so hard. But it's then bringing it where there's me working full-time, there's Aaron, who you might have seen, full-time social media, James Board still working his arse off, but different things that he's focusing on, different areas. Tony's still here writing up great reports, and it's just having a very specific focus for each single person instead of just a lot of different stuff and sticking plasters almost. This needs to go out right now, this needs to go out right now, which isn't me saying that that was a bad thing with what was happening before. I completely understand why it was, but we're professionalizing it. So making that social media with the graphics, with the video, with giving people more behind the scenes type content, stuff that you probably wouldn't have seen nearly as much of with signings, and you will see next week with pre-season and stuff like that. Just making the club almost as transparent as possible using this social media, just to show everybody what exactly we are doing and what is going on, and almost to a certain extent the work that we are putting into it, not just from us from a media point of view, but like in training, like with Steve coaching, like with all these different parts and different bits. So yeah, bit long-winded there. Quick wins.
Yeah.
Professionalism, upping that professional side, making us feel and work like we are going a championship ready, and making that social media into something that is a bit, I wouldn't even say different. It's just upgraded. It's just at a level now that is working at a lot higher than what it was.
Yeah. So is there anything that you can share on the projects or initiatives that you're particularly excited to get started or has already started? You might not be able to share anything yet.
There's bits and pieces that I obviously can. I think in the past I've been incredibly marketing driven, and that's kind of been my bread and butter. So the media stuff that's going on at the minute has been fine, but I want to start getting to the more marketing and fan engagement style initiatives that we are going to start seeing, like whenever we get to the release of the new kit. Can't give you lots of stuff, but it is going to be different. Not just in terms of the kit, but I mean, like overall, how it is seen, how you get it, like everything to do with the marketing side. And that'll include some more season ticket things. Season tickets are massive, whatever club you're at. It's such a huge deal to have for a football club, that baseline of support that you can kind of rely on every week. So I really want to hone in on it. So there'll be a couple of bits about making the season ticket more attractive, making it have more value than just coming to the match and watching the match. Where it's almost like the season ticket is your membership now, where you're getting extra value and extra things on top of what you would usually get. So I think there are two things that I'm really looking forward to. And then at the same time, like, honestly, the thing that I'm looking forward to, and probably all of us are in any of the back room, is getting back to football.
Yeah.
Like, that's the rhythm of it, and getting into that. Right, Tuesday we have a match, right, Saturday we have a match, right, we're doing this now, we're doing this now. I miss football. As much as the Euros are on, it's not the same. Especially watching England, it's not even nearly the same. So yeah, it's whenever we get back into that rhythm, it's going to make a huge difference to everyone, not just us, to all of you guys as well.
Yeah, you mentioned the season tickets been a big thing. The Swindon chairman didn't think so a few months ago. He slagged off the season ticket holders, and it's like, that's a strange business tactic. We'll let you go.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that, weirdly enough.
I mean, we did drop a little hint, obviously, about the new kit and me modelling it the other day. You let that slip, so that's out there now. Are there any, apart from me modelling the kit, are there any wild ideas, just out there ones that aren't in the pipeline, just something you go, you know what, it'd be a bit crazy, a bit funny, try this. Not saying anyone's going to agree to it, but
so I'm quite lucky, because a lot of my ideas are quite wild, as well, not a lot, but some of my ideas are quite wild, as people will have seen on the social media. So because I've kind of been given free rein about pushing this brand as much as possible, I probably can't tell you anything, because any of the wild ideas that we've had are in the pipeline.
fair enough.
Yeah, there's stuff that we're going to be doing that is different than any other football club's done. Like even the social media blackout, which I'm sure you'll ask me about. No football club has done that. The idea came from McLaren F1. That's where the idea came from. And it was something different. It was something that, well, that we know of. No other football club has done. It was actually supposed to go on for another couple of days, but a bit of pandemonium, so we decided to cut it slightly short.
Yeah, that is a definite one we got at the end. A few people have asked about that.
Yeah, I completely get that.
So you've mentioned it a couple of times about increasing the brand awareness and essentially attracting new supporters, new money into the ground, because it is one of the things being a supporter is, oh, this is going to cost me more money. What is the process? What kind of things are we doing to raise that bottom line of inflow of money? How does your, for example, the social media side, how does that help?
So, like, again, you'll see with the type of stuff that we are doing, like the teasers for the new signings, part of the thing with social media, as much as some of those videos, and I completely agree, are incredibly stupid. Like, they are ridiculously stupid. But the reason why they are used is because we want to hit through that boundary of the people that see these every single time. So, like, there was one a few weeks ago. Can't remember. Oh, we used it for Tyler French, I think, which was literally just a short meme of one of the guys from one of the Sidemen videos. And I think we even got a couple of comments on it saying that is so stupid. And they're right. But we want to hit through that boundary of, like, we have 30-odd thousand followers on Twitter. So I want to be hitting double that so that it's a lot more people from outside the brand that are seeing this. So, like, with that one, we got 105,000 impressions. That's not just people within our supporter base. That is people all over the UK that are seeing the Sutton brand in front of their eyes, maybe even for the first time. And that's what we want to consistently be hitting. Like, I think whenever you look through the signing videos at the start, we kept them all very similar because I wanted to hit one that was a little bit different. And we did the video with Jack Sims, where it was exactly the same. It was supposed to be faced into the change room the way that we were doing. All we did was turn a corner and he said, am I supposed to be over there? It was seen by 150-odd thousand people. The things are incredibly stupid, and I'm the first one to say that. In fact, I don't even like some of them, I'm not going to lie. But I know that they are going to get me a high-level impressions on Twitter, on Instagram, wherever we're going, that is going to be seen by so many different people outside of the existing fan base, and that's what we're trying to hit. As much as we're trying to, like, I'm trying to do it 50-50, where we're giving extra content to the existing fans, stuff that they want to see, like all of this new signing stuff. Sometimes it might be a bit overkill. Sometimes it's great. It depends on who you're talking to. But we want to give you as much transparency as possible for the fan. But to do that, I also want to make it slightly stupid, slightly silly, slightly different in many ways. So there is a lot of people outside of the fan base who are also getting their eyes on the product.
Yeah, I did like the one that was another video telling you nothing. Yeah, that was very quick, very good. I think I sent you a little clapping hands.
Yeah,
that one.
No, we thought it might get a couple more views, so we put it up. That's what the idea is. It is getting eyes on the product. So,
what can a lot of the fans are a certain demographic, and what can we do to kind of help make an impact with these things? I mean, some of us are only going to be on a couple of different social media. I'm on it, but I do not understand TikTok. But how can we kind of help with this?
See, I think most people's answer in this circumstance would probably be as positive as possible, share as much as you can. And part of that's true. Share as much as you can, but I don't really mind if you're negative. In fact, if you have something to say, I would rather you say it than not be negative and not say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just overall, that engagement will help us. So genuinely, we are trying to be transparent with you. If you hate it, be transparent. I know that sounds incredibly stupid, and we're a football club and we should all be on one level. But realistically, in certain cases, we're not really going to learn what you guys like, what exactly the exact preference is for everybody until we hear the views. And at the same time, for me, as somebody who's focused on marketing, media, social media for so long, the more comments, likes, discussion I get, the more people that are going to be engaged and view the product. Whether that is a good thing or a bad thing, and this isn't always the case, but no press is bad press.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As much as nothing awful happens, I am more than happy for people to come on and say, do you know what, that's crap. And we'll be like, right, okay, well, did it get us this number of impressions? No. Did it get us this number of views? No. Okay, then we'll change it. But this is crap. Did it get us this number of impressions? Yes. Did it get us this number of views? Yes. Okay, let's try something similar.
You're never going to please everyone. And from a lot of the, I don't know why, a lot of the young ones follow me. And when I see some of your posts and stuff, and they're all going on, I'm sitting there going, I haven't got a clue what's going on here. And they're all loving it and all the rest of it. I'm like, yeah, it's probably not for me then, isn't it? So it's...
I mean, with the social media thing, quite a lot of it will hit a certain age demographic, which is something that most of the time, if I'm looking for views, we can't really change. It's a difficult thing, but that doesn't mean that for other demographics, we won't have other things. It just won't always be through social media.
Yeah.
Like there is going to be updates with newsletter, with program, with number of different things. Like even on the website, we're going to have a completely new and much better website in the next 2 days. The EFL website's being taken down. Yeah, we've completely sorted that. So that is out of the way, much easier to use, much more effective. Couple of clicks for each thing. It is just dead easy for people to use, whether they're good in technology, whether they're not great in technology, whatever. So that's something that I hope for all demographics, not just the younger ones, will help people. But yeah, there's going to be loads of in-person type stuff that, again, I hope will engage different demographics, different areas of fans. And we're focusing on everyone, because as much as an awful lot of what I'm saying is trying to push outside and trying to go for this fan acquisition part to let everybody see the great product that we have, another half of it has to be focusing on the people that we already have that have been here for years, they're spending money continuously and that are supporting us through thick and through thin. So that is something that we're majorly focusing on, and you'll see that in the next couple of months. You will see what I'm talking about, especially in terms of value for season tickets, especially in terms of value for a number of other things. And it's not even like saying thank you, like it's the new normal. That's more what I would call it. It's what we should be doing, and what we are going to be doing is bringing value to the existing fan base. And then hopefully people are happy and can say, do you know what? Why are you spending a couple of £100 a week going to Arsenal or Chelsea or wherever, Spurs? Like, why are you going up there when realistically you could come down here for 20 quid, whatever, you could spend this much on a season ticket instead, and you'll actually have a great time. Like, there is value to this product, and sometimes it might not be on the pitch, sometimes it is on the pitch, but there is genuine value to coming here and being part of what we're trying to build.
Yeah, absolutely. I have noticed, obviously, there is a lot more of the replies and the quote tweets of, you've done Andy a couple of times where he's got his little spreadsheet sorted out and all that.
I really like that, to be fair. That was so organised. That was more just me being like a football nerd who plays football manager, loving what he was doing. And then I was starting to work out. I was like, geez, we're going to have another striker next week, aren't we? Right, okay, I'm going to need to fix this then. That's great.
Yeah. If you like spreadsheets, make sure you talk to John Davis, the analyst. He loves
me and John talk every day, don't you?
He loves a spreadsheet. I do too.
Yeah. I like the way John thinks.
I'm gutted that Sam's left, because I used to have great fun pointing to John and telling everyone it was Sam, and pointing to Sam and telling everyone it was John, and then running away. So some of the questions I had lined up, you've already covered, so I don't need to go on through about the new plans on digital platforms, because you've kind of explained that. So we're going to come to a few of the little questions.
Go for it.
overwhelming.
Yeah.
The blackout.
Yeah.
A lot of people, obviously, we just had relegation, and suddenly it's black. We'll be back, and a lot of people were like, "What the hell's going on?" Worried the club was facing bankruptcy and all sorts of other things.
We had
Various
people coming into the office asking me, "Are we going away?" Don't worry.
So, I know you mentioned it was something you'd seen at McLaren, but what was the thinking behind it? And have the posts come back yet, or are they coming back? The Instagram posts?
So, a couple of different reasons behind this. And it's something that I think in the background, whenever I pitched it, quite a lot of us liked the idea behind it. Part of it was one of the bosses, Jeff Jenkins. This was actually his idea. He's a marketing director in America, and he came up with the blackout idea. So whenever I pitched it to him, he was buzzing. There's a number of different reasons. Look, I think part of it was from the coaching side, not even just from the coaching side, from the club side. We have just been relegated. There's going to be a lot of changes, but we wanted to show, and some people have interpreted this in different ways, but we wanted to show that almost we aren't backing down. And that's why you saw the post that you did afterwards, where we were this, we are now evolving into this, we are becoming something the same but different. We are keeping certain bits, but we are changing certain bits, which you can see with all the way through, with me and Matthew coming in with the different ownership changes, with new players, like all of the strategy of the club has just changed into something smarter and leaner. So that was part of it. It was almost like the idea was a phoenix rising from the ashes, which is a bit cliche, but that was us changing into something that we thought would be bigger and better. The other side of it is engagement. I'm working in marketing. The blackout that I saw through everything, all of the different ones, got huge engagement. It had never been done in football before. We want to try new things. So we tried it, and most people hated it. And this is one of the ones where I don't really mind that, which sounds really awful, but I don't. The amount of conversation that got started, the amount of people that started thinking about the brand, but it's not just, obviously, for the inner circle, for that baseline, they're thinking about it in a slightly negative way. But the conversation that got started amongst other clubs, amongst other groups, amongst people, like we had people tweeting us from Japan, like there was stuff going on. So within that first week, I think, didn't touch the social media from when I started until Monday the 9th. So from Monday the 9th until that Friday, we were up 160%. The week after that, we were up well over 300%. And this wasn't just people within our own spheres talking. This was people everywhere talking. And it can't completely understand it's a big thing. And that's why we cut it short to a certain extent. Because I didn't expect just how big of a backlash there might be. But this was something that got the club viewed in so many different countries, in so many different spheres, that our social media went from the very start of being dipping from what we had before to right, full stop. This is what we are doing now. This is a new club. This is a new age. This is where we're going, and starting out with a completely different way of doing our social media, way of posting, having an aesthetic the whole way through. So within 2 weeks, 340 something percent we were up, and that hasn't dropped really. Like in terms of each week we'll be up 30% or we'll be up 40%. I think this week we're up 96%.
Right.
From my side, from somebody that is working for a business, because as much as it's a football club, it's a business. I need to be looking at those numbers and thinking, right, we're going up. Okay, cool. We're going up. Okay, cool. We're going up, because this brand needs to be seen by everyone, and they need to see what we're doing, and they need to see why this place is so great. So for a week or two of slight discomfort, although I was kind of telling Claire, Claire, we aren't going under. You do know that. Like, just let people know, just in case. Like, this isn't. I've just been employed. I can't go under.
This is part of the group.
I saw
calm down.
Yeah, I heard. Sure, I think we used so many different comments for so many different things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was having that new start, showing that we're doing something different and we're going in a different direction, and me also trying to get the product in front of as many eyes as possible.
Okay. And the posts are just archived. They could come back at some stage.
They might, yeah.
Yeah. Good.
I didn't delete them. I'm not that stupid. Jeez.
There was another one fairly early on, which I'm guessing there was a story behind it. You might not be able to tell all of the story, but the announcement that there's going to be an announcement.
Yeah.
Was there a story? Can you tell the story, or was it deliberate to say there's an announcement of an announcement?
Yeah. Announcement of an announcement.
Right. Okay.
No, there was 50-50. A couple of the announcements that we've made in the last couple of weeks were supposed to have happened weeks and weeks ago, which is nobody's fault. It's just the way that it goes. Things had been agreed, whatever else, they didn't happen. So we were supposed to come out straight away with loads of different things, like the Palace thing, like the training ground, like even starting to get to the new kit. Like we had markers, we had days set up for very, very specific things where we were going to hit this. Okay, then we're going to give that a couple of days, then we're going to hit this, then we're going to hit this, then a new signing, then another new signing, whatever else. And things just got pushed back. But in the positive, as me, who is looking at numbers, the fact we didn't post anything made the conversation go even bigger, which made our engagement go up, which meant in the second week we were up double on what we were the week before, which was already 150% up.
Right. So what I'm hearing is you're happy to annoy people as long as they engage.
To a certain extent, it's not really annoy people. It's like we said at the start, people are going to have different views on things. And I think, like, one of the things that I learned from marketing, and you can see it in the current political sphere, is that the two things that sell are hope, which we are pushing now, and crisis. Mm-hmm. We pushed our crisis to get the numbers way, way up, and now we're pushing our hope to keep that steady.
Perfect.
That's me as somebody in business. That's not me as somebody who is a football fan and that type of thing. That's me doing my job. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm really sorry.
Right. So this one, I've kind of gone, no, I understand this. A lot of whinges and moans about the amount of videos per signings or per little snippet. Now, I kind of get part of it.
Yeah.
But tell us what the thinking is behind that. Again, I get it's engagement, but
half of it is engagement. The other half is genuinely, like I said to you the other day, like half of my job is this business side where I'm solely focused on numbers. Let's up this. Let's get in front of new eyes. Let's just push this. The other side is adding value to the product for the existing fan. So half of that is engagement, trying to see what works, trying to see what doesn't work, trying to see if we could get those numbers outside of the existing fan base, get eyes on the product, get people talking. The other half of it is we wanted to add value. Like, we want you guys to see as much as possible. And I understand that sometimes the teasers can be a bit too long and can be a bit annoying, but that gives me that half. So then on the other half, I can show you the photos from behind the scenes. I can show you the mini interviews, the extra stuff. Like, we are adding with our new signings so many different things compared to what we used to have. If anything, if I was a football fan, and like this could be completely wrong, I want to see as much as possible. And the teasers are the annoying part of it, but the other side of that is we are seeing more of new players than we probably would have in the past. And we are getting a much, much deeper insight. And you'll see that a lot more in pre-season with the stuff that we have planned, because we don't need to plan these teasers, what we're doing for this video, the interview questions, the compilation, all of this stuff. We can genuinely focus on not just these guys as footballers and how good they are at training on the pitch, but genuinely who they are as people. And that's half of what we're doing. Like, whenever you talk to Steve next, he'll say, or even John with the recruitment policy, it's not just guys who fit the data, it is the human beings themselves. And that's kind of part of the story that we want to tell, and the transparency that we want to show through our social media is who actually are these guys. They're different personalities, they're different qualities. Like, you can see it, and eventually people, I think, will get on board with it, with the drive to survive the F1. F1's numbers tripled because these guys who are in these cars now all of a sudden had a personality, had a voice, were able to show who they actually were. And that's the next stage that we're getting to. We're getting to actually show these guys as human beings, not just footballers. And I'm excited for that. So yeah, I want to give people as much as possible, as we physically can with our cameras. I want to show you as much as possible.
Yeah. Well, it kicks my backside into gear because it's something I knew I was supposed to be doing, but I just I really can't be bothered. But now I found a nice little AI tool that helps me just pick out snippets. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. You're absolutely right. I said in one of my things to someone that you can tell the type of players that we're signing are very much the Steve mantra of we, not me. And yes, we're only seeing short snippets, but you're absolutely seeing it. I'm delighted.
It's the way we're going through the whole business.
Yeah.
Like, it's through everything. It's, some would say young and hungry, but it's not even that it's just young and hungry. It is hungry, want to be here, want to do this, want to do this properly, but also want to do it differently and in a way where, like, it's just all about showing people how great this is. I came to the Stockport game whenever I was talking to the other team, and it was obvious. Like, you can see it, the stories that I got told. Like, I didn't know about the seats being donated from Chelsea. Like, I didn't know about the old turnstiles from Wembley. Like, as much as that to some people might seem like, oh, we're the underdog or we're a bit of a charity case, it just adds to what this place is. Yeah, it was pushed by volunteers for years. It was given stuff, and they've still been able to drag it through and bring it to where we are. And we just want to push it to the next level. Yeah,
there's so many little stories like that you'll pick up going, why doesn't everybody know this? So
they will soon. There's going to be a
I'm glad you're doing a lot more with the players. It's something I kind of shy away from because I don't want to ask a question that ends up a player answering and then going, the FA going, excuse me? So they're quite guarded on what they can say. So I'm like, actually, you know what? I'll wait till they retire, then I'll have a chat with them. So I'm glad there's going to be more there. But thank you so much. We are going to wrap this conversation up, and thank you for everyone listening. We always love your attention. That's going to stay for the season again, especially Joe. I hope you love it. Don't forget to like, follow, share, and on socials, tag us at Sutton Podcast. Let your friends know. Don't suffer alone. Subscribe, all the rest of it. We will see you soon. We have got loads coming up for behind the scenes during pre-season. So I hope you enjoy them. And the season will start very, very soon. Jack, thank you so much.
Thanks very much.
United! 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 United!